Okay, so this time let's implement an argparse library for C. So yeah, basically why do I want to do this is because usually when you do like a tool in C, you might need command line arguments. For example, like for GCC, you have -h, or I guess it's not really, but you can have this flag for version. You can have the -o flag when you specify something after it. You also have these types of arguments where you don't really have a flag, but for now I will just skip those. I'll just focus on the ones with flags. Okay, so yeah, basically let's start as usual by creating the main file. I'll put everything in this main file and then refactor it into like a small library, I guess. But well, I mean, whatever. Let's have just the hello world. Okay, so yeah, and now let's compile this application, and yeah, we get hello world. Okay, now the command line arguments, we get them from the arguments of the main function. We get the number of arguments in argc and the arguments itself or themselves in argv. So yeah, let's start by creating a structure for one argument, right? So one argument, or I guess first let's define the parser. So let's say parser only like this. We'll define it later, the body of the structure. So now let's define our functions that we need. So it will be parser pointer argparse new. Okay, so yeah, let's say that we have some description. Well, we can also have like the name of the application and I guess like version or something. Why not? I mean, it's pretty simple. Then um, let's have a function for adding an argument. Let's call it add argument, just like that. So yeah, whatever this. So we should have a char for the short name, a char pointer for the long name, maybe a help or a description for it, and yeah, basically that's all for now, right? I don't know why it's complaining here. Wait, this should be a void, obviously. Okay, so yeah, basically, uh, if you want to have like flags and values inside of the arguments, we might need an enum to specify the argument type. So let's say argument type, and we can have like values, as I said. And for now, let's also have flags or flag. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. So here let's also add the type. Okay. You'll see later what I meant by that. So another important function is parse, which just takes in the arguments and parses the values into the structure. Then another cool function would be getting the value. So here, see, I get the char pointer. So this would be the function for this enum, this branch of the enum. And let's make another function for this one, for the flags. I was thinking that probably unsigned int. So yeah, and these are the long names. Okay, let's use the long name when we query the values. So basically, the first one gives you the value of the argument, but you have to make sure that it was an argument of type value. You cannot call it on type flag. I mean, you can, but you'll get a null as the return type. And it's the same thing for flags. If you call it on the flag, you get the value of the flag, but yeah. Here we can make it generic and return like a void pointer, but at some point you still have to convert it to its actual type. So I mean, yeah, let's just make it here, and it's easier like that. And yeah, sure, let's have a print function that prints the help message, like usage, the usage, and let's also have a free. Okay, so now let's try to structure our example that we'll use. Pretty long. I mean, we can just let Copilot to create it. What I will do is remove some of the stuff. Okay, let's have here like a file, the version, the help message, the file, then we parse it. Yeah, here we create a new parser with a name test description, whatever version. You can change this as you want. And I don't really like that. I usually like it. I would like it more to have it like this. And then if version um, I mean let's have another function for printing the version argparse print version print version parser and return 0 afterwards. If we have the help flag, we print the help, and for file whatever, we don't really care about it that much. And then free, and then return 0. Okay, so right now this is the main structure of the program, right? So yeah, first let me copy paste some stuff that I already made. So yeah, I can go through it, but it's some pretty basic things. So yeah, I found this in a repo. I can link it in the description, and I usually use it in like all the C projects, so it's really good. It's basically a dynamic array. So if you define a structure with specific fields, you can use this, and like how that structure should look like. It should have an items array. So this should be a pointer to something. Then it should have a capacity, which is the maximum number of those items. It should also have a count field, which will represent how many items we currently have. And yeah, basically, if we go over the capacity with the count, we double the capacity, we reallocate the items, and then at the end we just put the new item inside of the array. So yeah, it's a pretty cool macro to have when you need dynamic arrays, because in C, yeah, we don't have dynamic arrays. You have to realloc each time you have too many items. But yeah, you can see here it's a pretty large number, so probably no one will have like 8,000 arguments. Let's be honest right now. Okay, so yeah, let's define the argument. So how I was thinking to have the argument. Okay, let's just call it argument. It will be like private structure, so we don't care about it. So we need the short name, which is a char. We need the long name, which is a char pointer. We need a description, which is just as an example for now. Then we need the type, and since in C we don't really have enums like we have in Rust, where you can have here like um, I don't know, I'll call them parametric constructors for these enums, when you can have like here like an int or something. In C we don't have that, so we have to, I guess you can use unions, but I don't really know how to use them, so I'll just have it like this. I'll just put all the all the possible fields in after the type, and depending on what type you have, you use that field. So makes sense to me, to be honest. Okay, now let's define the structure for our parser. And yeah, because we have the name, the description, the version, arguments will be items because that's what we use here. Okay, I mean we can have another structure for the arguments, but let's keep it like this. Then we have the count, as I said, and the capacity. So yeah, these are the structures that we are gonna use. So let's begin by using this, by implementing this function first. So creating a new parser, right? We need a parser. We need to allocate. We need to allocate it because we return here a pointer. And then let's fill in all the fields. I'll just put them like this. Count and capacity will be 0. So the first time well, I mean, yeah, because we already defined the structure, I think we can overwrite it with this one. I forgot I had it above. So, well, this is pretty weird. Am I dumb? Oh, oh, I guess that didn't matter then. If we redefine it. Okay, yeah, I mean, if you redefine it, it's fine. Okay, it was a typo. I forgot to put an R here. Okay, so yeah, we fill in all the things. Let's make the free now. It's the easier one. Argparse free. What did I call it? Argparse free. Okay. I mean, you just have to free the items and then the parser itself. Okay, now let's do the complicated part, which is adding an argument. Well, adding an argument is pretty easy because we'll use the macro. So it's really, we don't really care about. So something interesting, well, already started to do it, that we can do is, yeah, exactly like this. Initialize the structure like this with the short name, the long name, the description, the type, and for value first we'll put null, and for flag we'll put 0. So basically if we encounter the flag like a flag argument, will set this to 1, and if we encounter a value argument, will set the value to whatever value it's here. But this is done in parsing, not in here. So then yeah, just the append. So well, it's dumb. It needs to do this, and yeah, basically we append the argument to the parser. Okay, let's move on with the stuff, and let's get into the parsing, which is the, I guess parsing is the most complicated part of this project. So yeah, okay. First, let's just iterate over all the arguments. Okay, and yeah, let's start with one because I'll show you in a bit. Okay, yeah. So um, basically the first argument. So when you look at a command like this is the first argument. Then this is the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. So if we were to print argv, we would see that the first argument is this one, and usually that's done because maybe you want to check the name of the program or how the program was invoked. That was a weird one, how the program was called. I guess if it was called from a shortcut or from whatever the name was when it was called, maybe you can do something different about it. So yeah, I mean, let's continue with this. Okay, so let's take the name. I would call it name. Okay, and now what we need to do is first of all check if the name starts with the minus symbol, because as I said, for now we only support this type of arguments. So let's check if name starts with a minus. If it does, then it's fine, and else let's print to standard error that it's an invalid argument. And I mean, what do you think? Should we exit, like crash the program, or should we just return like one, -1 or something? We'll figure that later, I guess. For now, it's fine to just exit, crash the program. Okay, now uh, another interesting thing is let's figure out if we have a long name or a short name, right? Like if it's a single minus or two like hyphens, whatever you want to call them. So let's say that the argument is a null for now. So it's a null pointer. We don't really know. Here we need to somehow iterate all the args in parser, and after that, like we can continue with arg as being okay. Arg is an argument, okay, so pretty nice. I guess something that we can check after that there's gonna be some code there, so chill out. If this is still null after that iteration, then it's an error, right? We didn't find the argument, so this is a flag that doesn't exist, right? So argument, I don't know, maybe invalid argument makes sense, or how should we say here? Like maybe saying that it's a typo, but yeah, let's leave it as invalid argument. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Afterwards, um, if we find the flag, bam, we just set the flag to 1, right? Else, if okay, I mean, let's just give it the benefit of the doubt. So if it's a value, then we need to check that we have enough arguments in argv. If we don't, then we tell the user that, well, it's this flag is missing its value, like this argument is missing its value. And if we have enough arguments, then we just take the one from argv, from the next position. So when we do plus plus I, first we increment I, then we index the argv and assign it to value. So first we increment and then we take the value from argv. Okay. And if it's the else case, here I wouldn't really say invalid argument. I would just say that the type is not supported. Maybe type is not supported. But I mean, it's gonna be stupid to show the type because it's gonna be like 0, 1, 2, 3. But it's not supported for argument name. Okay, at least give the user the name of the like the flag name, right? Okay, so how are we gonna do this thing here? Right, so let's do a for loop, size t, and here let's use j. Let's not make the mistake of using I. I've done that so many times, and it's really painful. Okay, let's go up to the count and do this. Okay, so yeah, I mean, as you can see, Copilot doesn't really know how to do this. So let's do the following. So I mean, it makes sense. Oh, what the hell, dude? I mean, let's import string.h. That might make it know how to use strcmp. Yeah, I mean, at least that, right? But what we need to check first, if this is a minus. If it's a minus, then it means that we have a long name, right? So let's check if the long name is not equal to null, because we cannot use strcmp with null, I think. I'm not sure, but doesn't make sense to use it with null. And then yeah, I mean, let's do it like this. Uh, let's delete this crap. Let's put two parentheses here. Okay. So basically, if we have a minus, we need to check the name that we get from argv with the long name, and if it's 0, then it means that they are equal. And otherwise, let's put a thing here. Otherwise, if name, if the second character of the name is not minus, and the short name is not 0, basically, I mean, this is impossible, but who knows. And because it's a single character, we can use equal equal, right? We don't need to use strcmp for it. So that's the point. Okay, so it's like a really weird looking condition, but it does the job, trust me. I'm a C, I mean, I'm not a C developer, but okay, we put this and then break. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, basically we iterate all the arguments in our parser, and we just check if the name that we receive in argv is equal to any of the names that we have in our parser. And if it's equal, then it is what it is. We save in arg that item. So now arg will be a pointer into our parser. So all the changes that we make on the argument will be made also on the parser, like on this argument. Okay, so all the changes will be saved. So yeah, pretty much this is the parsing, right? I mean, I don't see if it's gonna fail. I think we are safe, my friends. So okay, let's see what Coppola did here. So as I mean, we already implemented this here, so it's not really that interesting to see again. But here we get always a long name, right? So it's easier than above. We iterate all the items. I want to call it item again because here we called it item and it will look the same. At least, and I have OCD, so I cannot stand having it. Okay, so yeah, basically this is how we do it for getting a value. Okay, let's copy paste it. And for getting a flag, here we need to have oh my, it's so hard to write unsigned, I don't know why. Unsigned int. Okay, everything is fine. So, well, imagine if we run like an assert here. I'll do it after. I'll do it after. So, basically, what I was thinking was, do we have assert? Wow, we do have assert. But how do we also print like a message? I wanted to say something like I don't know, like dummy, you cannot use. I mean, yeah, whatever. Um, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really be this strict with it. Maybe just show a warning message. Maybe a warning message makes sense. So basically, if the item type is not equal to value, we don't really need to exit or stuff. And let's show to std out, and let's print a warning. And yeah, I think this could be fine. Okay, like, okay, it's not a value. You have to rethink your life. Okay, and again here, if it's not a flag, is not a flag, like bam, bim boom. Okay, and here return 0, just to have a number. So yeah, this is how I would do getting the values, right? I mean, again, as I said, probably another way to do it is here having a void pointer value. I mean, let's call it data to not cause some errors. have like a void pointer data, and then based on this type, you know how to interpret this void pointer data. But I mean, it's fine. Okay, so yeah, pretty much done. We just need to implement these two test functions, the showing the help and the version. Let's put them here, and yeah, first let's do the version because it's simple. It's just a print. Okay, and for the help, I'll just let Copilot do it because, to be fair, wow, it's so crazy, dude. Okay, this looks good. Nice, nice. Options. Then we iterate all the arguments. Um, oh, yeah, I mean, this if statement is not really. I mean, I guess it could make sense in to have some checks, but I don't know. I mean, let's keep it just. Well, I'm really curious though, if like this character is a zero. I've never tried it though, to see what printf does if it encounters a zero, like a null byte inside of it. We'll test it and we'll see what happens. Okay, so then here if it's of type value, right, also add the value, then new line, and then the item description. Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, it looks good to me. Okay, how much do you want to bet that this won't run first try? Let's have like help file file. Well, let me check. Okay, it's F. Okay, because we used V and V was the first one. Let's not use V then. Let's use just H. Oh wow, I mean, dude, come on. It works first try, what the fuck? Not even joking, it worked first try. Yeah, here it shows the. I mean, let's do help. I mean, this is really cool, though, right? Anyway, yeah. Yeah, so what I would like to do next is to maybe move everything implementation related in like a file. Let's remove this um, and have like a header only library. If you know that type of libraries in C. So yeah, yeah. I mean, I said that let's test what happens if we have a zero inside of this. Test. And yeah, I mean, let's make it a flag. I mean, doesn't really matter though. Okay, cool, yeah. Then it doesn't show anything there. Yeah. I mean, it's, I don't know, it feels like it might be quite useful to have something like this. But yeah, it might also be nice to have like positional arguments. but like this. hmm But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how these positional arguments work, because usually you only have one. To be honest, I don't remember if you can have like, I mean, you can have a list of them as basically as you do in C when you use argv, right? So you can have a list of positional arguments. So that would be interesting to see how to implement. But yeah, I'll just turn this into a repo, um, share the link in the description to it, and yeah, hopefully, I mean, I'll probably not do a video on it, but we'll refactor this into a header library so that you can, I mean, you can still just copy paste all this part and put it into the project, but it's easier to copy paste a single file, right? Like it's easier. And yeah, I'll just do the GitHub stuff off screen, and we'll see next time. Good luck using the argparse library.